right, welcome to another edition of Koffee and Kramer, the podcast. I'm Joey Kramer.
And I'm Jennifer Koffee.
And we are
Koffee and Kramer.
And as soon as I turned on the microphone, the plane went by.
We're not that close to the airport that we have such a flight pattern.
That the plane went right by. We live by a little tiny airport. I don't think even the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Avoca Airport, I think a plane takes off every 3 hours from there.
But it doesn't matter whenever we tape. It doesn't have to be the same time.
The Wyoming Valley Airport, which is like the little Cessna planes and everything, it seems like there's a plane taking off every 5 minutes from there.
Day
it's
and
incredible.
night.
So we're coming up on July 4th weekend. This weekend on Decades, of course, the top 40 summertime songs of the 1980s. We're going to count down 40 through number 1 to the biggest song of the entire decade when you think about summer. What?
And I'm going to be around to help y'all.
It's great. I did it about 9 years ago, which makes it even easier because I don't have to research the list again because nothing's changed. I could just recopy it from the 9 years ago when I did it.
Well, since you keep every playlist you ever make.
17 years worth of playlists. I have...
in notebooks, yes, in our house.
I think I have 29 books of playlists.
Yep.
Going back to 2005.
You have more playlist books than I have lesson plan books.
It's because you don't write a lesson plan.
I do.
No.
But I've only taught 24 years, so I have 24 years of lesson plan books.
So anyway, this week has been interesting in the life of Koffee and Kramer.
It's always interesting.
We survived the wedding on Saturday.
We did.
With Mandy and AJ. And we went to the wedding, and as we're like old farts. We were out by 9 o'clock. Actually, everybody at our table was out by 9 o'clock, so it wasn't just us.
You're right.
It wasn't just us. I don't like weddings.
Well, and we don't drink, so it's not like we were hanging around.
I actually had a drink. I had a blue mahunga or something. When I was sitting out in the heat, they came around with these blue drinks, so I took it.
You had a Mrs. drink. There was 2 drinks. There was a Mrs. and a Mr.
And I had the blue. I didn't have the red.
I understand, but the Mrs. was blue.
No, the Mrs. was pink.
No.
Yes.
No. They actually had the switch-aroo on the colors and the sexes.
Of course.
Why
not?
The blue drink was the female drink. Was Mandy's drink.
There's no gender. Do you really want to get into this with me?
No, and I don't think that was the issue. It was just their favorite drinks.
It was just their favorite drinks. And the wedding was nice. Mandy yelled at me a couple times, which was normal.
Yeah, you usually push Mandy.
I have a problem sitting there listening to DJs. Although I could say the DJ was there. Nothing has changed.
No.
They play the same songs that I played 20-some years ago, which only enforces the thing of I'm so glad I gave it up.
I know.
Because I couldn't deal with it. But we did get through the wedding, which was...
TV definitely ruined weddings.
We did get through the wedding, and this was the worst week of the year for me between camp and a wedding. Now I'm clear for Christmas.
Well, as you say every year, once July 4th hits,
the
summer's over, which
July
I
4th
hate when you say that.
Mark my words right now. Remember this. Oh, there goes another plane. Mark my words that I'll be saying on Christmas Eve. Remember we were doing a podcast back
on July 4th.
Really? Another plane? How many planes take off from there?
I don't know. It's a nice
remember
day,
back
I guess.
At the end of June when I was saying Christmas is almost here?
Oh, I hate when you say that.
Because once July 4th hits,
Labor
Day is coming at you.
The summer is over from Labor Day. You have from July 4th to Labor Day.
I hate the summer.
There's a lot of time left in summer.
Although I do love working outside. And yesterday...
This is a good one.
Yesterday, I accomplish a lot every day. Today's a down day. I really haven't done anything outside, but I make everybody nervous because I go from one thing to another, just one job after another. I don't sit the whole day. I do everything.
Never.
I do how many lawns. I find something to do if I'm not washing the cars. Well, we have this freaking tree in our backyard, which is not a tree. It's a weed.
That grew into a tree.
That are the people that live behind us
never took care of.
So this weed has now become a full-fledged tree.
The most disgusting tree ever.
Now that started, we've lived at this house for 24 years. You've lived here your whole life except for the couple of years we were had an apartment. But this thing now is 60 feet in the air. It's about 40 feet across. And
half dead.
All these different things fall from it. Well, there was a branch there that was huge branch that every time we had a storm, the wires would knock down. There'd be trees uprooted in front of our house.
And this branch would not
move. So I made a point yesterday. I was going to get that branch down. And I went across the street to one of our neighbors because we just share things around here. We just go in each other's garages. We borrow what we need. And he gave me a ladder.
The ladder was probably older than our 100-year-old neighbor.
Yes, that is true. The ladder, but it was stable. I got up on it.
It was not a stable ladder.
And I could not. I started hitting the tree with my saw and with my hedge clippers, trying to get the branches off. Stuff was falling. Everything was going.
It was scary.
But then I noticed the vines were actually wrapped around this piece. And this was like something at a Little Shop of Horrors. There was nothing that was knocking this thing down. So I thought instantly my cowboy instinct came in. And I thought, how am I going to get this thing down? So I looked at her. I said, do we have any rope?
We did not have rope.
I said, go up in the bedroom and get the rope.
No. I need to. So he decided that since we didn't have any rope, he was going to get an orange electrical cord.
Only because my longer electrical cord is hooked up to the fountain, so I couldn't use that.
As a lasso to try to hook the branch and pull it down from the tree. We have video proof of that. Our neighbor videotaped him doing it because we all weren't sure whether we should videotape or call 911.
You're going to have to put that on our Facebook page. You said you were going to take.
I have a picture of you staring at the branch on the ground.
You said you were going to take lead on our Facebook page, Koffee and Kramer podcast. Now, I have enough to do with my decade Facebook page. I can't do everything in this relationship.
I don't have the video, but I can get the video. Our neighbor has the video.
Guys, do your shoulders hurt like mine do? Because I carry this relationship on my shoulder, and I'm very tired by the end of the day.
I'll add the picture of you as the branch came down. We'll add that this week.
Taking care of the Facebook page just doesn't mean inviting your friends.
Why?
You got to promote the thing. You got to get out there. You got to move stuff around. You got to get the algorithm going.
Okay. Well, you have to teach me, so I really don't know.
You just got to screw around with it.
Okay.
I mean, but anyway, I tried to lasso it with the orange cord. That couldn't work.
Did not work. You could not lasso it.
Only because it was windy.
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Every time I threw it up there, the wind knocked down the cord.
It hit him back in the face.
So it wouldn't work. So finally, I got all the way to the top.
As the ladder was shaking.
And I got one of those long sticks, there's a name for it, with the saw on it.
I don't know what it's called.
They're called. But I sawed all the vines. And the tree finally, this huge chunk, comes tumbling down. And half of it is on the roof of my shed. The other part I'm holding, and I'm yelling, Jen, grab the other side, grab the other side. Like, I'm worried right now I'm going to fall off the ladder, and this thing's going to fall on top of me. So what does my wife do? My wife does not run to my aid. Or over. She says, hang on a second. And she starts taking pictures of me.
Absolutely.
And then wonders why I flip out and get mad.
Because we need to show all of you what he was outside doing.
In typical 21st century fashion.
Pictures. He was safe.
If Mr. Ingalls was stuck underneath a plow and
he was safe.
The cow was coming at them or the steer was coming at them, would Mrs. Ingalls say, hold on, Charles, I'm going to take a picture of you right now?
She probably wishes she did.
So I have one neighbor videoing me. I have this one here taking pictures of me. And at any moment, I'm going to fall through the ladder and onto the ground. Yes. And then this 50-pound branch is going to fall on top of me.
Now, mind you, let's complete that. This was after 2 lawns were cut.
She finds nothing wrong with the fact that she took a picture of me.
None.
Instead of helping me.
2 lawns were cut that day.
No.
2 cars were washed
yesterday,
that day.
Okay, first of all, yesterday.
A branch was taken down.
Yesterday, I did not.
He exhausts me.
Yesterday, I did not cut a lawn. Yesterday, I trimmed our bushes outside.
Okay.
I did all the bushes, and I washed our daughter's car yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cut any lawn. The day before, I cut 2 lawns, washed a car. So I didn't do everything that you're saying. So don't lie. Tell the truth.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And I come in, that besides the fact of why I was cutting the bushes, I tripped over something in the middle of and I landed right on my back, laying in the middle of the driveway.
And unfortunately, I missed that shot.
20 seconds, 30 seconds prior, she was out on the porch.
I was.
And when I fell backwards, I'm thinking, Jen, you there? Nowhere to be found.
He's like, yeah, I wasn't, because I would have been taking pictures
so
of it.
Carol across the street yells to me, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. At this point, I'm embarrassed because I'm laying on my back in the middle of the driveway with all my legs and my hands straight up in the air. So I finally come inside. What's she doing? I walk upstairs. She's watching TV. My back hurts. I had to come lay down.
I did. I don't lie.
If I laid down every time I didn't feel well with my jaw, I'd be flat on my back the whole entire day.
I make sure you have food every day.
I
make sure your clothes are clean every day.
You are my mother.
I make sure the house is clean for you.
You are my mother. You say I'm like my father, where you are exactly like my mother.
There's never a day you're not taken care of.
Anyway, I could have died yesterday.
Anytime you do work outside,
I really
you
could have died. Now, I have a lot of stuff to do for the show today. I have editing, imaging. I have a lot of stuff besides the podcast. I have a whole other lot of stuff. Wednesday, usually Thursday, Friday. Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, I do all my stuff. But I still got stuff to do outside. So I can't be...
We need a good rainy day.
No.
So you don't have to be outside.
We need 7 inches of snow and 20 degrees because I've already had it with the summer.
No, thank you.
Although I love doing my yard, I've absolutely positively had it with my summer.
I like the heat.
All right. Read our sponsor and then we'll get on to our next look here.
Koffee and Kramer podcast is sponsored by Samantha Faith Creative. Samantha Faith is a content creator who specializes in photography, illustrations, and social media. You can check out her content on Instagram, Facebook, and her website in our link in bio. Mention Koffee and Kramer podcast for a special 10% discount with Samantha Faith Creative today. Her Instagram at SamanthaFaith.creative, Facebook Samantha Faith Creative, and her website SamanthaFaithPhoto.com. Check her out today.
And we are just... Here you are, Randy! We're just like 2 weeks away from the stadium tour.
Not me.
Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. I cannot wait.
They're suggesting you bring earplugs because it's so loud. So I'm not upset that I'm not going.
Well, I'm not 100 years old. So.
I'm not upset that I'm not going.
Oh, please.
Please. I will rather enjoy the day at Hershey than be at the concert with you.
I cannot wait.
So I'm glad that you have somebody to go with that's just as excited.
Because if anything I learned from the Tom Kiefer concert is that Sammy and I are better to go concerts by ourselves.
I always have fun.
I didn't say you didn't have fun, but Sammy and I would have been right next to the stage. We would have been pressed up against the stage and everything instead of sitting in seats like we were 4 senior citizens.
Okay, I don't know about anybody else these days.
Oh, here we go.
But there's 2 things
there we go.
I look for anywhere I go. I scout out where the bathroom is, and I scout out an exit. I just feel more comfortable knowing where the exit is.
You did that when you were 18.
And knowing where the bathroom is.
You did that when you were 18.
I never searched for the exit. Now I get that feeling I need to know where the exit is as well.
On our honeymoon, we knew where every single bathroom was in Disney World.
We did.
And I have pictures.
And I always say that
before cell phones.
I should create an app that tells where all the cleanest bathrooms are in every town.
There is one.
I know.
They give a rating.
Somebody already took my idea, but I used to always say that that's what I needed to do because I could tell you where every bathroom is in the valley.
See, in my idea.
And which ones are clean and not clean.
The thing I do is I take 4 Imodium ADs and then I don't have to worry about the bathroom.
That's not good for your stomach.
But then I don't have to worry about... I have a fear of public bathrooms because they're so disgusting all the time.
That's not true. There's some that are not bad.
I have some, like there's certain places I could, like when I go to the studio at the casino, I know there's a certain bathroom there that's always clean and I could use.
And see, I don't agree with you on that bathroom. That bathroom is never clean.
You weren't in a men's room. Women are gross. Women are disgusting creatures. So women's bathrooms are always disgusting.
You're right. They are.
Men, it depends. I just don't like public bathrooms.
2 things I look for. So there's no way you're putting me pushed up against a stage where I can't get to a bathroom or an exit.
Last time that happened, she passed out and she had to be lifted up Oh, color me bad.
When I was 17 years old, he's talking about.
I don't think were you 17. Yeah, I guess you were. It was 1991. You were 18. Close. Right?
17, 18, in that range. I was a lot smaller. It was a lot easier to lift me.
She was drunk.
I was not. I was not drunk. It was hot.
When we drink, we see pterodactyls.
No, it was very hot.
Joe, what? I just heard a pterodactyl. Jen, there's no pterodactyls chasing us in 44.
Oh, we just saw Jurassic World. You never know.
Oh, dear God. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
You never know.
Anyway, what else is going on? Well, this whole Roe versus Wade thing has been going on all week, and I'm not going to get into that.
No, we're not discussing it.
But what I am going to get into is these freaking celebrities. I don't care what you think. Like Pink. I don't want you listening to my music if you're pro-choice. Good. Who listens to Pink anymore anyway? So who cares?
She's irrelevant.
Great Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. That the same thing. He's renouncing his citizenship. Good. Promises.
That was when everybody was moving to Canada.
I
when
thought
Trump
Rosie O'Donnell, Whoopi Goldberg, and Joy Behar were all moving, but they're still here.
Yeah, they didn't take us up on that.
If you do not like this country and it is that bad for you, get out.
I agree.
Don't stay here. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. You know, and the whole thing gets me annoyed right now with people just, getting on TV and putting down our criminal justice system, which, that's in trouble because of other things. But the Supreme Court,
let's not talk politics. That's boring and depressing and angry.
First of all, don't these people have a job than to be sitting out there protesting all day?
Probably not.
I mean, they have nothing. These are all a bunch of kids who live in their parents' basement.
A lot of them are.
That's what most of them are. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay.
End of rant.
Okay.
End of rant. Done completely. What I am going to talk about is every week we always talk about successes in marriage and what you could do to make your marriage more successful. Now, this week I looked up things that basically what women can do for their husbands to make them feel better. And I think it actually says what men could do for their women. And then we're going to talk about the vapor rub.
Okay.
I should get sponsored on that. Vapor rub.
Vapor rub.
Anything you have done, you put vapor rub on it, it'll be instantly
Okay, so
fixed.
if you've ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
So you're going to talk about vapor rub first?
Well, you brought it up.
Okay. So we're going to talk about vapor rub first.
I guess so.
Okay, go ahead.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where he sprays Windex on everything and Windex is the cure-all. No, my husband's cure-all is Vapor Rub.
Vapor Rub. You make it sound like that poo parade that there was in that movie.
That's what it's called.
It's Vapor Rub.
Okay, Vapor Rub. Whatever you want to call
Vicks
it.
Vapor Rub.
But
And don't get the alternatives. Do not get the bargain brand. It has to be Vicks Vapor Rub.
It is his cure-all for everything.
If it didn't work, it'd be one thing, but
it gets rubbed everywhere.
Okay. My wife, my beautiful, lovely wife, who I love with all my heart, had a zit the size of the Grand Canyon on her chin this week.
It was bad.
Okay? And this started out last Friday. She put everything from face masks to toothpaste to her prescription stuff for her face. Anything you could imagine. I kept on saying, Jen, Vapor Rub. No. I have my cream on my face next night, Jen. Vapor Rub. Don't touch me with that vapor rub.
I don't know if the vapor rub worked or if it was just the end of the cycle.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
That thing was just as big as it was. It did nothing.
I'm not sure.
It was gigantic still.
But whatever. I used Vapor Rub. It did make it smaller. It has healed it.
She used the Vapor Rub on Sunday night and on Monday night. It's gone.
Well, it's much better than it was.
Vapor Rub works for everything, and we actually had a list of the stuff. Where's the list?
I have the list.
But I don't even need the list because I know what it works for.
It works for rusty hinges. If
you get a rash,
rashes, infections.
If you get a rash, don't go worrying about what you're gonna. Don't get these expensive creams and everything. Rub Vapor Rub on the rash.
It's Vapor Rub. Whatever. It's not Vapor Rub.
I call it Vapor Rub. So you rub it on your rash, it'll get rid of the rash. If the bugs are bothering you outside, simply rub Vapor Rub on your neck and on like your forehead. The bugs will go away.
It helps with stretch marks.
If you want to start your fire pit outside, put a little Vapor Rub on the wood, light it up. It'll start. I use if with my pain I have in my jaw and
It helps
with
to
90
moisturize. It helps
90
with
some surgeries on my
it
jaw.
helps with itching.
I'm talking.
I'm just giving all the different.
I
things
have
it gives.
everything possibly to kill pain because I always have it. And when it gets really bad, I rub Vapor Rub on my jaw.
It helps with
and
pain.
It works.
It helps joints. It
Vapor
gets rid
Rub,
of warts.
This is something that's been around for 100 years or more.
It removes lipstick.
It does everything. So next time you have it, I'm just to try it and let me know. If it doesn't work, you could let me know. You could go to our Facebook. We're going to post this on our Facebook too about Vapor Rub. So you got things to do. You got the Vapor Rub thing to post. You got me falling out of the tree.
I got that. I can.
You got a lot of stuff you could do.
Oh, you can make candles out of Vapor Rub.
Yes, you can.
If you're in the dark and you're really desperate.
There is nothing that can't be cured by putting Vapor Rub. It's kind of like the boric acid. And we were talking
shoes.
We were talking about this last night on our porch time outside. I used to get a lot of styes when I was younger. And if you get
peeing in the alley.
Well, no, people get styes. I mean, especially when you're a kid more than anything. You get. Did you pee in the alley too? Because you've had styes.
I've never had a sty.
But anyway, our kids got styes.
I don't know if they were peeing in the alley.
The first thing you get, and this was an old wives' thing, I guess. When I was little, we always had boric acid. And of course, you say boric acid, people think I'm burning something through metal. It's just a little powdery thing. It's kind of like like a vitamin type. It's like one of those herbal cures.
We still have Ray and Derek brand boric acid.
It never goes bad.
How long we've had it for?
It never goes bad. I'm looking it up here because there's boric acid.
There's no such thing as Ray and Derek anymore.
Boric acid. I mean, this is...
You use such a minuscule amount of it in a cup of hot water that it lasts forever.
And you put a tiny bit on a spoon and you put it in a coffee cup, fill it up with hot water, you get your cotton ball, and you just let it sit on your eye. I'm looking at Vapor Rub too.
You don't squeeze it into your eye or anything. You just let it sit on the cotton ball on the outside of your eye.
And it gets rid of it instantaneously.
We probably should give a disclaimer that we're not doctors and that we don't.
I'm not saying people know I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what works. By the way, Vapor Rub first came out in 1905.
Wow.
So it's been around 100.
What was the original use? Does it say what the original reason why it was created?
Muscles. It says Vapor Rub is intended to use on the chest, back, and throat for cough suppression or on muscles and joints for minor aches and pains.
I didn't know if there was a crazy original reason and then they found it worked for that stuff.
It just works for everything.
Gotcha.
There's nothing Vapor Rub doesn't work for.
No, I understand that, but I didn't know why it was created. Like if it was created for something like that.
It's effective. It says it's been tested and effective on guinea pigs as a cough suppressant.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, but if
it works on guinea pigs, it's going to work on humans.
If you have kids, two things you need in your house. You need Vapor Rub and you need boric acid. Because you're probably going to get a sty. And styes are the worst. Like your eyes closed. They're horrible. They hurt. You look ridiculous. Put the boric acid a couple times a day for 2 days. Gone.
Remember mercurochrome?
I remember.
Don't think anybody uses that anymore.
Methylate.
No, it was mercurochrome.
It was mercurochrome, and then it was methylate.
One burned, one didn't, right?
Methylate. Let's see,
I don't know. I think one was like red and one was Bernie. You didn't want the one that was Bernie. You would cry. And don't give me that.
There was mercurochrome. That was the stuff you rubbed on a cut. But then and the methylate was the burn. And I could always remember my mother saying, "If you fall, I'm getting out the methylate." Oh my God, that stuff burns so bad. You did not want methylate on your cut. You wanted the mercurochrome because it wasn't as bad. Although the mercurochrome did burn, it was. I swear, methylate had real acid in it.
It's like New Skin now. New Skin does that.
It's incredible. I don't know how to spell methylate, so I can't even.
That's all right.
I can't even.
Not that important.
I tried, but methylate was good. That was straight from the devil. You did not want methylate on any that and suppositors. They were my biggest thing.
Suppositors.
Joey, if you don't stop, because I always had problems breathing, and my allergies. So if I started coughing and I wouldn't sit down and I wouldn't, relax, my mother would always say, "I'm going to get out the suppositors." And the last thing I wanted was something shoved up my pooper.
Can I just say that these all must have been good, like Italian cures, because my family never did any of these things.
Well, my mother was Polish.
Okay, then Polish cures. My family just never did any of these
Well,
things.
your family doesn't talk.
But we did when I was little. I mean, these weren't things that ever happened in my family.
And there's also very little that can happen sitting next to the TV watching TV all day.
Okay. But I mean,
there's Jewish cures.
No, my mother, I know,
don't you
used
put like
Vicks.
Chicken soup on a cut or something?
Well, you just make chicken soup when you're sick.
Fixes everything.
I mean, it does.
Doesn't matter what it is. You have
Jewish
chicken soup
penicillin.
and it'll work.
Jewish penicillin.
Just don't put real penicillin in our house or we'll all die.
Yeah. No, my mother had Vicks. I mean, Vicks was around in my house, but all these, I never heard of a sty before I met you. Never had a sty. Never heard of boric acid.
I never heard of bottled spaghetti sauce before I met you.
Well, you know. There you go. Like,
you mean they put sauce in a jar?
Or instant mashed potatoes.
Oh, I never, unless it was like school or something, I never tasted an instant mashed potato until we were married.
They were fine. They were good enough.
Anyway, our original thought we were getting into before as we're running out of time here, where we always talk a little bit about marriage. I'm getting very warm in here now. I'm sweating up a storm. I'm soaked.
I'm comfortable.
10 things that women need in marriage and 10 things that men need in marriage. I wanted to get to the men. Oh, here. We'll do the women first.
Okay, go ahead.
10 things the woman needs. She needs to be number one.
Okay.
Your wife needs to feel that she is more important than your business or job, and especially more important than your mother, children, friends, sports, and hobbies.
Again, I think that reverses in our house.
What?
I think you need to feel like number one.
Because I don't feel like number one.
See?
I'm like number 8.
Again, we're going to reverse all the stereotypes probably.
I broke the top 10 years ago, and I never got to number 1. I was that song that hit number 2, but never quite hit the top.
I don't think that's true, but you like to think that way.
She needs intimacy. When your wife is stressed out and overwhelmed from putting out fires all day while trying to meet the important deadline, she needs to know that you are willing to share an intimate moment of comfort.
And again, I think it's in more reverse. I think you need it more than I do.
She needs you to be vulnerable. Open or unobstructed communication is hugely important to the female gender. Guys don't like communication and talking. We don't want to talk.
I don't like to have lots of discussion.
I don't want to talk about my feelings. That's just a guy thing. We don't care. Food, back rubs, sex. All we need. It's just the truth. She needs to be praised. I always say, good girl.
I don't do well with compliments. I'm not a good person with compliments.
Let her be part of your team. Your wife needs to feel free to help you and contribute to the things that matter to you without fearing retaliation and anger. I don't even know what that means.
That would be more you than me.
This had to be made up by a psychologist because I have no idea what half this means. She needs you to protect and defend her.
No, I can take care of myself.
Not just from physical harm, but from the criticism of others.
Nope, I'm good. You need me to protect you.
Do you need me at all for anything?
I do.
You make me feel like you don't need. I don't.
But I think we're opposite. Wait till we get to the male things.
You make me feel like I am irrelevant.
No.
If I, you know what you told me? If I died tomorrow, she'd wait 6 months.
We've said this before. That's not new.
Now I'm mad.
Okay, keep going because all these are your things.
Make her feel like her opinion counts. She needs to know that her opinion is so valuable about your work or business that you will discuss decisions with her.
That's, again, you.
Share your life with her. She needs to connect with you in a special way, so create margins so she can share her life with you in every area.
We do that. That goes back and forth.
She needs a man of character and integrity. She needs you to be the kind of man her son can follow and her daughter would want to marry.
Both our children are dating versions of you.
That's funny. Hold her often. She needs a physical affection. Good God. All I want to do is hug you, and it's like...
See, again, very opposite. I bet you now go to the male ones.
10 things men need. Stop the insults in an attempt to motivate him to change. Women may think their harsh criticisms will fix their husbands and make them better. Nope. What you are doing is actually causing rejections.
I think that's you.
No,
to
that's
me.
you. No.
Stop insulting me.
Create. When do I insult you?
Nope.
When have I insulted you?
You've already done it, talking about me laying on a couch and you being busy
How many
outside.
times have you told me I'm a dork?
I'm a nerd. So what?
Create the safe space for open and emotional, honest dialogue to happen. I don't know of any man who wants to have open, emotional dialogue.
Silly.
That's like silly psychobabble.
Yeah.
This was definitely written by a woman and by a liberal. Sorry, did I say that? Express respect in his love language. It can be spoken through words of affirmation. One of Gary Chapman's first love languages. What is this?
This is terrible.
Nothing is as important for such a man to hear his woman assure him that he is awesome, competent, and heroic. Do you ever tell me I'm awesome?
All the time.
You're full of crap. Respect him by offering yourself for physical affection.
I don't like these lists. These lists are baloney.
You should be offering yourself for physical affection. I'm here. I'm here.
Don't worry, I know you're here. You make yourself known all the time.
Respect him by letting him be a man. If a woman allows her Joe to be Joe without mothering him and lets him be who he was designed to be without she needs to fix him, Joe will drop the remote stuck on ESPN, come out of his cave more often, hand you his heart, and engage you emotionally.
I hand him the remote control and I say, please watch.
Like, I'm sorry.
Again, reverse.
If the Eagles are on the 4-yard line,
reverse.
down by 6 in the fourth quarter, the house could catch on fire, and I'm not moving until I see that.
You're right.
Respect him by giving him space.
No, you are reverse on that one.
What? I like to be close to you.
Exactly. You don't want space.
Does everybody get the idea that I'm not loved at all in my house?
You're loved, but we take on reverse roles. You take on the female roles in our house, and I take on the male.
Be attractive for him. I'm not talking about how a woman looks in a 2-piece 3 kids later, although taking care of oneself physically is important to husbands. The attraction I speak of that a mature man desires goes beyond the physical.
Okay, because can we mention the physical? All right, can we mention the physical?
Into the emotional.
No, wait. Can we mention the physical?
What about?
Because I was told that I'm expected
please.
to do my hair, put makeup on, put contacts in at least once to twice a week during the summer. Because I do it during the school year, I should do it all summer.
All I said is Mother Laura.
No, that's what you said to me.
Mother Laura, Dr. Laura, said that why do women, when they get married, all of a sudden...
It's not when we got married.
It's all...
It has nothing to do with marriage.
But when you're dating, okay?
It's the summertime. When I choose to not wear...
I just turned her mic off because I'm going to talk right now. It's not about that. I don't care. You're not talking. I'm talking. When you're dating, you pick them up. Their hair's always done. Their makeup's always on. They always smell good. But then,
Lies.
You should want to do that all the time.
Lies, because I wore glasses all the time when we dated.
All I said to you is, honey.
I never wore contacts.
I said, honey, once or twice a week, why don't you put makeup on and do your hair and just for me?
And have I?
Yes.
I have. So.
And every time I tell you look beautiful, what do you say to me?
You want something.
Exactly. So it doesn't make a difference.
You do.
There's absolutely no winning. There's absolutely no winning.
But again, it doesn't say be attractive physically. It says be attractive in other ways. So you take that to mean the wrong thing.
I think you're attractive in every single way. I tell you all the time.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, next.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to hug you.
I know.
This woman looked at me once and said, could you love me a little less? Who says that?
Well, because you drive me crazy sometimes.
Who says to their husband, can you love me a little less? I appreciate you love me. Could you just bring the love down a little bit? Okay, I don't need to be loved quite this much all the time.
Can we say that we're both home for the summer 24/7? So sometimes a little alone time is nice. Separate time, alone time. Sometimes that's nice.
I want to be with you.
I understand, but sometimes you need to respect my space.
It's kind of like what was the word you used back in the day? I have no desire for you.
No, we're not going there because that's not what I said.
But this woman actually looked at me and said, could you love me a little less? You love me at a 10. Could you love me at a 6 maybe?
Yep.
Who wants to be loved less?
It was physical love that you were always hugging and always sitting next to me and always on top of me.
I want you to love me at a 10.
The people that know us know how he is.
See, that doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense.
Shout out to all my basketball moms too. They appreciate me. They think I'm funny
because you love hot moms.
I'm gonna get my hot moms T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
What was the T-shirt said?
I love hot moms.
I love hot moms.
Yep.
Anyway, but guys, if your wife ever says to you, "Can you love me less?"
It's not a bad thing.
Can you love me? Could you love me a little less today?
I'm asking you to pay attention to yourself a little bit more than just me
What's
all the
wrong
time.
with myself now?
Nothing, that you take care. You go to yourself instead of watching me.
So now you don't like the way I look either. By the way, I got an awesome mullet I'm rocking now.
Yes, you are.
Not really. All right, that's going to do it for another edition. It's not a mullet. Are you crazy?
It is. You could call it whatever you want to call it.
That's going to do it for another edition of Koffee and Kramer. We'll be back next Wednesday. We'll do it all over again. Remember, check out our Facebook page, Koffee and Kramer Podcast. That's Koffee, because the Sam decided to spell it that way.
Yep.
Right? Decades with Joey Kramer this Saturday night. Top 40 summertime songs of the 80s, and Jennifer Koffee will be there. I'm Joey Kramer.
And I'm Jennifer Koffee.
And we are Koffee and Kramer.